Jujutsu Kaisen's new chapter 260 is finally here. Let's not waste time and start with the video. Todo's left arm has been replaced with something called a Vibra Slap. The narration explains that the activation of Boogie Woogie has now changed from Todo clapping his hands together to parts of the Vibra Slap hitting each other. Todo is now capable of swapping around 50 times within a second. Yuji and Todo attack Sukuna simultaneously, catching him off guard. Todo used a binding vow on the number of times he could swap with the Vibra Slap. This maximized his curse technique, allowing him to have multiple targets. He also expanded the technique's range. The narration says Todo evacuated the sorcerers out of Sukuna's domain successfully. Sukuna thinks Todo showed up at an inconvenient time. Before Todo can kick Sukuna, Sukuna avoids it. Todo notes that Sukuna is capable of dodging mid-air. Yuji throws a rock in their direction, then Todo swaps Yuji and the rock, allowing Yuji to kick Sukuna. Sukuna grabs Yuji by the face and attempts to attack. However, Todo keeps switching around while Yuji keeps punching Sukuna at his blind spots. Sukuna realizes the number of times Todo switches per tap can vary, so it would be almost impossible to get the hang of Boogie Woogie. However, Sukuna tries figuring out when Todo's going to switch, which is when Yuji's at peak focus. He thinks Todo might fake the switch by swapping something else instead of Yuji, so he prepares to land a hard punch on Yuji. But Mei's crow arrives, and Sukuna realizes he misinterpreted Todo's move. Sukuna believes they switched with the crow, so he tries to adjust accordingly, but Todo tricks him again. Todo didn't switch places, and Yuji lands a black flash on Sukuna. Yuji then uses his hand to pierce through Sukuna's chest. Sukuna attempts to use domain expansion, but sees a mysterious silhouette. The narration explains that Sukuna saw the strongest ghost he buried with his own hands. The final panel looks like Gojo. The editor's note at the end says those eyes are unmistakable. I still don't believe it is Satoru Gojo. I mean, the body is his, but the soul is different. His body has that character which we hate too much. He is the one who also took over his best friend's body. There were two theories going around in the battle, with the battleground being Reddit and Twitter. Some were saying that the soul in Gojo's body is definitely Nobara's. She has made a comeback to make a final blow. But when the editor mentioned that the strongest ghost which Sukuna buried with his own hands, it proved that the ghost is not Nobara's. If it was her, no one would care. The ghost is neither Nobara's nor Gojo's. It's Jogo's, the fire guy, who was also buried by Sukuna. But this is really nonsense. Let's recall that panel where we know that Kenjaku was killed by Yuta, and he said that soon his willpower would reincarnate. This is crazy, and I don't like these crazy theories. What I don't understand about Gojo coming back is that the entire point of the Jujutsu Kaisen squad will become to literally stall for Gojo not once, but twice. The narrative that despite having all the power in the world but not being able to do anything would end. I have no reason to believe after this that Gojo isn't the actual main character. It just doesn't sit well after all this struggle and build-up for the students to catch up to him, but he will finish the job anyway. Him coming back would feel like Gege read Reddit posts complaining, got emotional, and decided to pull back. What should have happened is that Gojo should have had a better death. The entire narrative of Sukuna still holding back should have been gone. Gege should have given more power to the cast more gradually so that we wouldn't feel this huge gap 260 chapters into the manga. It just doesn't sit well, unfortunately. It's definitely something symbolic rather than Gojo being revived and straight up using domain expansion like that.